Derek Kruger, a 78-year-old man from Cape Breton, Canada, has been missing since September of last year. At the time of his disappearance, Derek was traveling from his rural Richmond County home in Cape Breton, which is an island in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia, to see his son in Texas. After family members had not heard from Derek for a few days, a search began and Derek's vehicle was found abandoned on a logging road within the Cape Breton island. Derek's daughter, Monique Jackson, told the media that there was no reason for her father to leave the highway and drive 17 kilometers down a logging road, especially given the fact that Derek thought the world of his car and would not risk damaging the vehicle. Monique told the media that there are too many red flags and that her father would never drive off the beaten path and put his car where it was found. She thinks that something happened to Derek and somebody had planted his car. Helicopter, search dogs, and search and rescue teams scoured more than 100 kilometers of dense woods, trails, and roadways, but no trace of Mr. Kruger has been found. Derek's family is appealing to the public. If anybody has seen anything, please call it in. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police are asking anyone with information to call the Port Hawkesbury Detachment or to remain anonymous and call Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers toll-free. Welcome back to Weeknight Mysteries. My name is Uras and I am here with Rain. How are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm completely okay. How are you today?
I'm good. I feel okay for having spent 10 minutes trying to record the first minute intro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're trying something new. I'm going to try to put that 1 minute of introduction of this podcast on TikTok and on Instagram to kind of promote the podcast or whatever, because, our social medias are pretty much abandoned at this point. So I was thinking to
sorry about that. I was the one who abandoned it.
It's fine, completely fine. So today we have another disappearance case that happened fairly recently, Derek Kruger's disappearance. So I kind of briefed you a little bit before we started recording. I had this case on my list of to-do cases for a while. I don't think anyone really suggested this one. I think I found it somewhere. And I didn't see a lot of information on the case, and it was very interesting for me. So I thought it was a good idea to kind of talk about it. So Derek Kruger is described as 5'4" with brown hair. He was wearing glasses and a hearing aid at the time of his disappearance. The investigation into Derek's disappearance is still ongoing. According to police, there is no indication of criminality at this point, but from the briefing that I gave you, would you say that you would think that there is a chance for criminality in this case?
Not necessarily, no. It seemed like I can't say much yet because I don't have much information about it yet, but initially I just thought it could possibly be intentional.
Intentional?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just a natural cause, like he got lost or something.
And then got out of his car in the middle of a logging road, but then he would have to drive there 17 kilometers.
Maybe fell down. Something.
Yeah, unfortunately in this case, we have to speculate a lot. Well, we won't do any speculation, I guess. What I'm saying is that there's a lot of information that's not released, and there's not a lot of coverage on this case. I don't think I've seen anything on YouTube. I don't think I've seen a podcast done about this disappearance case. I've only seen a handful of articles online. So
I've never seen this before, actually.
Yeah, because as I've said, it's a little bit under the radar.
How'd you find this one?
I think it was on Reddit. Someone reported it, but it kind of never took off, you know what I mean? And then we don't really have information such as the state of the car. Was it, out of gas? Was there any signs of foul play potentially? I mean, the only information we have from law enforcement is that apparently there is no criminality in this one.
Okay.
Or at least they have no reason to suspect that criminality was involved. I believe the family members are thinking otherwise. And I can understand why, because from the information that, I was able to find online, I would also probably start leaning towards thinking otherwise. But there's some more information that I left out of the intro that I can walk you through. So essentially, we have a man who was going to visit his son. So he was traveling from Cape Breton in Nova Scotia. And this is probably one of the most eastern parts of Canada. So it's way on the east coast of Canada. And Derek was making a trip to Texas, which is, according to Google Map estimates, it would take him 41 hours, and he would cover over 4,000 kilometers.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah,
All alone?
all alone. Yeah, in his red Mazda Miata.
And that's just crazy.
Mazda Miata, by the way, for people who are listening, is like a very kind of like a small car. It's a convertible small car. So when it was found in a logging road, it was very strange because this is like the last place you want to take this car on, especially when Derek really liked this car. He was taking care of it. So it makes you question, why would he drive 17 kilometers into a logging road? And especially because he knew the route. It's not like he was driving from Canada, from Nova Scotia to Texas for the first time. Apparently he has done this multiple times before. So him ending up for whatever reason in a like on a logging road just is a bit bizarre.
Yeah, but still, initially it's a very long drive.
Yes.
I can't imagine doing it all alone.
I kind of can, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, because you pass by like New York City, you pass by like I believe Nashville and kind of big cities. I don't know. For me, I could see that.
Is it like a common thing for North Americans
I have
to
no
just
idea.
drive from one point to the other?
I mean, if I was there, I would definitely do it sometimes.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
we
just
can-
to me, it seems like a nice idea.
Yeah, but I was thinking, for us, it's kind of hard to just drive to Poland. And that's like 10 times more.
I think it's because, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to, because the road gets boring.
Yeah.
The road gets boring. I would assume that in America, maybe the road gets maybe less boring.
Maybe there are more stops and more places to see.
Yeah, I would say so.
Possibly.
Maybe the road, or maybe it's completely opposite. Maybe it's even more boring there. Regardless, so this is what we know about the case, right? So Derek had left his home on September 29th of last year, 2023, in his little red Mazda Miata, and he set out to drive to Texas. He had previously made this drive before. His family stated that he knew the route. Derek was also a point A to point B type of a person and always had his trip planned in advance. So this makes the case even more strange because family says that Derek would not be someone who would take a detour. Why would he take a detour in a logging road?
Honestly, I could think of one thing. Maybe he wanted to go to point B faster. And he was trying to find like a way. Maybe because he has done this in the past multiple times. He thought he knew the route way too much. And he thought maybe like, oh, there's another route. Maybe this one will take me to point B quicker.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Testing the waters.
Yeah, I understand that logic. I don't think so because, well, first of all, I want to say that I didn't find this information with where exactly this logging road is. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the location in a bit, but to me it seemed like he was still trying to get out of Nova Scotia. It was still a very long journey ahead of him. I just kind of don't see him driving 17 kilometers in a logging road in a car that he really likes.
This
You know?
logging road, was it still in Canada?
Yeah.
Close to a town or something?
Yeah, it was close to a town. But let's jump through my notes here. 'Cause
apologies.
No, it's fine, it's fine. I kind of want to talk about it, but then I know like I'm going to mess up my sequence of like events here.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right, so Derek's son the one who was waiting in Texas, was expecting to see his father within 4 days. However, after Derek made no contact with his family, authorities were informed. And we know that Derek was last seen on September 29th as well. So he was last seen on the same day that he set out on this trip. He was last spotted at a gas station in a city called Antigonish in Nova Scotia. So this Antigonish city, I believe it's an hour away from... Oh no, sorry. I have no idea exactly where Mr. Kruger was living in Nova Scotia, but he was last seen in Antigonish, which is, a city in Nova Scotia, not a very big city. He was seen on surveillance camera fueling up his vehicle. Then he stopped into Tim Hortons to grab himself a beverage, and this was the last time he was seen. I've tried to pinpoint which exact Tim Hortons, and Tim Hortons is basically like a fast food chain in Canada. It's pretty popular there. And I was trying to pinpoint in Antigonish which exact Tim Hortons was it. And there's 3 Tim Hortons in Antigonish, and I feel like he was in this one particular Antigonish, in this one particular Tim Hortons that's like literally connected to a gas station. But that's it. That's all we know. I was not able to find any more clues out there, and he was last seen on surveillance, just fueling up his car. And Antigonish seemed like the regular town that he would pass during this route. So at this point, doesn't seem like anything was out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Now, Derek's red Mazda Miata was first spotted abandoned on a logging road in Greenfield, east of Truro, which is a town in central Nova Scotia. So this is the town, Truro. And it would take Mr. Kruger around an hour to drive from Antigonish to Truro.
Oh, okay. So he still wasn't far away.
No, and Truro is actually a city that you would have to pass if you want to get out of like Canada and start driving towards Texas. So it seemed that at least heading towards the city of Truro was still part of the correct route. So a member of the public spotted the car. That's all we have, that a member of the public spotted the car abandoned in a logging road, 17 kilometers into a logging road on September 30th, so one day after. The initial sighting of the abandoned vehicle was made one day after Derek was last seen at a gas station in Antigonish. So it seems like whatever happened to Derek must have happened between the 29th, or like on the 29th, on the same day that he set out, because he was last seen in Antigonish in a gas station, and then later Tim Hortons, and then his vehicle was found next to Truro, and it would have taken him around an hour to get to Truro. So I feel like something must have happened either from Antigonish to Truro, or maybe in Truro. Something happened there. That's just my kind of gut feeling. So the member of the public who saw the abandoned vehicle reported the sighting 4 days later, on October 4th, after having seen the Royal Canadian Mounted Police media release concerning Derek Kruger being a missing person.
Wait, okay, 1 second. So he was last seen by a random person a day after he left?
Not even a random person. He was last... No. So he was last seen on CCTV camera on the same day that he left, 29th. His abandoned vehicle was found the next day by a member of the public.
And then who reported him 4 days after?
Yeah, that same member of the public reported the abandoned vehicle 4 days later, because Derek was only himself reported missing 4 days later, because I believe his family members were thinking that, he's on this long trip. It was supposed to take 4 days, but after he failed to contact anyone, that's when Royal Mounted Police released, presser or whatever, and that's when this person saw in the press release the Mazda Miata, and he was like, oh, I've seen that Mazda Miata abandoned in a logging road. So he only reported it 4 days later. And we don't have any information on who exactly this person is. We don't know where this logging road is either. We just know this is the only information that we have.
Okay, so we don't know if this logging road is like near the cliffs or something.
No.
Near a body of water.
No, not really. We really have no idea where it's at.
Okay.
It's just around the city of Truro in Nova Scotia.
I wonder what's the landscape in there. Like, is it mountainous?
You know, I have no idea, but I just know that it's like an island.
Foresty?
Yeah, I would guess. It's an island in the very east coast of Canada. Also, it happened in late September, so it has to be getting cold there.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be getting cold there, you know what I mean? It's Canada, late September, definitely cold, getting cold. So, let me take a look at some of my notes, what else we have here to kind of talk about. So, since October 4th, when he was reported missing, 13 ground search and rescue teams have conducted an extensive search in the area where his red Mazda Miata was located on a logging road. More than 2,000 volunteer hours were incurred and over 100 kilometers of dense woods, trails and roadways were searched. RCMP, the mounted police, dog services were involved throughout. The Department of National Resources and Renewables also assisted by providing helicopter services, searching by air over the 4 days. And I think the search was stopped at October 10th. So they started at October 4th, and I think 6 days later they stopped the search. The search efforts were suspended with the hopes of being reactivated if new leads or information is brought forward. And this is all the information that I have on Derek Kruger's disappearance. So once again, not a lot of information. I scoured the internet to kind of find more. But it seems like this case, I would assume it's Derek Kruger is still a missing person because, sometimes there's like cases that don't get a lot of media attention, and maybe the person had already been found.
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be the best if someone could just go to the comments and say, oh no, Derek's been found already. That would be amazing. But I've seen media reports even from like 2 months ago reporting that they're still looking for him. So he was, at one point, he was missing for 3 months for sure. Like missing for multiple months. So the chances are that he has been found after 3 months and just the media has not reported anything about it. I kind of really doubt it.
Yeah.
I would definitely guess that Derek Kruger is still missing. That would be an amazing news if someone just went to the comment section and just said, no, he has been found. But I just kind of doubt that that's the case. But maybe, I don't know, someone like locals from Canada. We have some Canadian listeners. I don't know, maybe from Nova Scotia even. Maybe you've heard something, but as far as I'm aware, Derek Kruger is still a missing person. And the police and the authorities in Canada did not release a report that he has been found. So I'm still guessing that he's definitely not found.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the case. Derek Kruger, very strange kind of disappearance. Very little information for the public, but very strange. I felt like it was very important to kind of try to talk a little bit about it as much as we can, And so my thoughts are that, yes, something must have happened between the route from Antigonish to Truro. That's my just gut feeling. It's a 115 kilometers route or 70 miles. And I feel like something must have happened there. That's just my guess.
This one's pretty hard because the information is so limited. If, for example, I don't know, like he could have been mugged or killed, but we don't know if his belongings were still in the car, complete, or if something was missing.
Yeah, very good point. Or also like phone pings, that type of information. It's really just all speculation at this point because I guess law enforcement is only asking for leads.
Yeah.
So if anyone in the Nova Scotia area maybe knows something that could be potentially used by law enforcement to locate Derek, you should definitely contact Port Hawkesbury Detachment or even Crime Stoppers, Nova Scotia. Toll free for Crime Stoppers, and you are also anonymous. And you could also use Crime Stoppers Canada secure web tip service, where you could also post a tip
Not sponsored.
Yeah, obviously. I don't think Crime Stoppers is ever going to sponsor anyone. But at the same time, you could also leave a tip without calling anyone. So we're going to leave all of these kind of links in the description. Also, I was thinking that the fact that authorities stated, the one interesting fact about this case for me is that authorities stated they have no reason to believe there was any criminality involved.
So, do you think it was intentional?
So, I don't know if someone took his car, if there was foul play involved and someone took his car and they drove it and placed it in the middle of logging road, like a logging road, wouldn't that leave a lot of DNA evidence in the car?
Exactly.
And just evidence that maybe Derek wasn't the one driving?
No, I was actually thinking about the aspect wherein he did it himself.
Okay, yeah.
Suicide?
Yeah, definitely.
But the thing is, we don't know what his mental state was prior to the trip.
Yeah, exactly. This is
because with the CCTV camera, with the CCTV footage, it looked like a regular trip.
Yeah, it looked like a regular trip.
Like nothing's off.
Nothing's off, just had the gas station, Tim Hortons, and then an hour later on this road,
and
something must have happened to
and there was a
Kruger.
goal. He at the very end of the trip, he was gonna see his son.
Oh yeah, there was a goal, and I feel like he's done it in the past, and he was in his red Mazda Miata. Like, it screams to me like this person was ready for like a cross-country trip.
Yeah.
For me personally, that sounds like a super fun trip, especially with like that Mazda Miata. It just seems like a fun thing to do, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah.
Yeah, I was also thinking it could have been something accidental. Like, the hard part here is that, once again, limitation of the information. We don't know the geography, the landscape of this logging road. He could have went out for a quick break, maybe.
Yeah, bathroom break.
Yeah, bathroom break. And if it were like near a cliff, there could have been a chance he fell. Maybe not.
But then that would mean that he would have to drive 17 kilometers.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty
logging
odd.
road to take a bathroom break, which doesn't really add up to me.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
But maybe he just wanted. Okay, initially, my initial thoughts were he probably wanted a different route. Like something new.
Yeah.
But now I'm not sure.
And even if you're, let's say you're covering up a potential crime.
Why road though? Why not like in the middle of forest or something?
Or why not try to drive it into a lake?
Yeah.
Exactly. Why
put it
road?
somewhere where someone could see it?
Yeah, eventually it's going to be found. It's going to be found eventually. And if if law enforcement is saying they have no reason, maybe they have reason to believe there's no criminality. Who knows? You know what I mean? Law enforcement just going to do what they're going to do in order to solve the case. But at the same time, I feel like if you are going to put it in the woods, and you're going to leave the car as if there's no foul play, then you have a certain amount of know-how how to remove like DNA, fingerprints. I feel like if you're someone who has that knowledge, how to remove like DNA and fingerprints and not leave any clues behind, I feel like you'd probably try to put a car somewhere else rather than a logging road. If you're already a a criminal with that amount of skill, then maybe it makes more sense for you to just drive it into a lake or something.
Yeah.
Where the vehicle is not going to be found for a lot more time. And then also, if you drive it into a lake, then, there goes all of that DNA evidence because it's in the bottom of a lake.
Yeah, that's
Anyways.
true.
So maybe it would make more sense to do that instead of, dusting off the car and then leaving it there.
Yeah, but then
also maybe, a lot of people maybe there was like, I don't know, so many fingerprints on that car or something like that. Maybe, who knows, maybe already people touched it in that logging road. Maybe like local loggers were like, oh, let's check it out. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's a lot of details that we don't know.
Yeah,
Law enforcement
definitely.
probably knows all of it, or like they have a better picture than us. So we're only saying that Derek Kruger is missing, and we'd like to.
And it's a mystery.
It's a mystery, and someone could maybe potentially generate some tips. If you know someone who might know someone, definitely ask around a bit. See what you can find out. And yeah, so shorter episode this time, but it was on my list. I'm just going through the list right now of the cases that I want to talk about. And yeah, I guess that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick update. Well, not quick update, but like a quick episode. Yeah, quick case.
Shorter case.
Yeah, shorter case. We're going to be back soon with some more stuff.
Very soon.
Yeah, so thank you for listening and take care.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.